Welcome to Demystified. This podcast is your roadmap showing the way forward for current and aspiring doctoral students.
Our goal is to shine a little bit of light on the mysteries of the PhD, answer your questions, and hopefully make your academic life a little bit easier. I'm Dr. Julianne Burgess, adjunct professor at Brock University.
And I'm Dr. William Ankoma, Assistant Professor of Education at St. Francis Xavier University. We are diverse folks with diverse perspectives, and we're also recent grads. In this episode, that's episode 3, we're going to talk about the things we wish we had known before we began our PhDs. We want to offer you a few practical tips, and hopefully you will find them helpful.
So you have your acceptance letter in your hands and you are all set, ready to begin. But are you really ready for this adventure? Is there anything you can do to prepare for what's to come? So you know that once you start your program, you're going to discover that the PhD is an all-consuming endeavor. It's a relentless stream of work, of deadlines and demands, which can feel overwhelming most of the time. At least that was my experience. How about you, Dr. Will?
You betcha.
Yeah. So you need to be prepared and realistic about what's involved, but can you really be ready for it? What do you think?
No, probably not. But we have put together a list of some practical tips, and we hope you might find them beneficial as you are about to start or working your way through your doctoral program. We think this list applies broadly to other programs as well. Here's what we've got for you.
Okay. So if you don't have a good grip on APA, get to know your APA. Or this is your faculty's preferred style guide. It's absolutely necessary for formatting your course-based papers, your research papers, reflections, and the manuscripts that you're going to submit for publication. So in our program, we worked with APA, and that is what we're going to refer to here today. But your program could be using MLA, Harvard style, or Chicago style, so you need to find out what that is. So it may be time for you to dust off the old Manual of the American Psychological Association, 7th edition, to figure out how to do a proper in-text citation or format your references. So I'm going to test you now. Do you know what an Oxford comma is?
Of course I do.
Yes, you do. Now, how about an M dash?
I do, and I use it all the time.
Okay, and can you do it? Can you format it without having to look it up? Because I'm still looking it up. and you know how to cite a conference paper. Can you cite a YouTube video?
Absolutely.
You know how to do that. Well, and if you don't, then you've got some work to do.
Right. So for our international students or anyone who has not been introduced to any of these style guides, Chicago, MLA, APA, don't be so scared. I completed my undergraduate degree in Ghana and was not introduced to any of these style guides. All you need to do is embrace the challenge and learn how to use it as quickly as possible, because there is no escape or time to waste.
And you're going to hit the ground running. You're going to be expected to start writing right away. So if you have the formatting under your belt already, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and struggle. Now, for me, the bad news is the APA manual is a boring, boring read. Don't you think so, Dr. Will?
No, Dr. J. Actually, if you take the time to go through whatever style guide your faculty uses, you will realize that it has useful information on grammar, how to write an abstract, the structure of a paper, how to write conference papers and articles. In fact, it's endless and a very useful document. We challenge you to really familiarize yourself with the content. It's a really good document to have on your side.
Yeah, and the good news is that Dr. Google is going to help you here to find good websites that explain the ins and outs of APA or your style guide, and it'll do it quickly for you. We used the website Purdue OWL, and it is really like a one-stop shop for your style guide. And there are other websites out there, but if you're just looking for something that's going to give you a really easy to digest introduction, that's a good place to go to, Purdue OWL.
Yes, Purdue Owl has, in fact, almost all of them has APA, MLA, Chicago, and it does that we have not mentioned here. And Purdue is Purdue, and then Owl, OWL. Just go there and you will be amazed at what they have. And as Dr. J already said, in fact, there are so many things out there. How to cite a YouTube content, how to cite a conference paper, how to cite a journal, how to cite a magazine. All these things are there for you. You don't have to really struggle.
No. And the other thing that you might find useful is if you're searching for articles using Google Scholar, which a lot of us do, you can click on the Cite tab that's right under the abstract for the article. That's also a good way to get a quick citation.
Absolutely.
And we also would suggest for tip number 2 that you figure out ahead of time what digital tools you'll need in your program. So a good place for that is to speak with your program's librarian. You may not realize it, but there is a librarian assigned to your particular faculty, your particular program, and they're really helpful. They can be your best friend as you go through your PhD journey.
Right. And, based on your program and your own interest, you may need certain software to help with your course, your research, your laboratory work, etc. Do you need Grammarly, for example, OneNote, Evernote, Envivo, Zotero, and the list goes on and on. It's important that you check with your library or the librarian because some of these tools are already available and they are free. All you need is just make the contact and you get to use these tools to really support your learning in the doctoral program.
I think that's a really good point that you may not realize that these programs are already there in the library for you. They're already accessible, they're already free. So as Dr. Will mentioned, you're going to need a citation manager. So this could be Zotero, Mendeley, or EndNote. So a citation manager is a software tool that helps you to organize the citations in your paper and your reference list. It integrates easily with Microsoft Word, and it actually generates your reference list as you're writing. And it has also the flexibility to change styles. So, for example, if you're used to working in APA, but you're going to submit a manuscript to a journal that asks for MLA, then that's learning something new and difficult. But your citation manager will do this for you. Just a click of a button, and it's like magic. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like magic, right? So, yes, that is right, Dr. J. These tools will save you countless hours of work and a ton of stress. Some of us are embarrassed to say that we didn't use any of these citation tools.
Yeah, do you know anybody in the room who that's both of us.
And I'm now addressing, this shortfall. Of course, we use software such as Envivo. I use Envivo to work. I use Grammarly to help me here and there. But when it comes to citation tools, they make your writing life much easier.
It's true. Now, I tried Zotero. I don't know if you're working with it, but I tried it when I was struggling in first year, and it made a mess on the page. So then I went out and bought EndNote at a colleague's recommendation, and I struggled to set that up to get it working. And this was during the pandemic, and I couldn't easily have someone come in and help me, so I just abandoned it. But I really wish I knew how much I needed it at the beginning of the program. If I could have set it up before I started, that would have been such a time saver.
Right. On my part, if I had to do it again, I would definitely get a program working for me in, or even before I start my first year, first semester. And that is why I am using Zotero right now. See, I didn't use, I encourage our listeners to look at, I didn't use a reference manager by Susan Oregon. She put this out there in March 30th, 2024, so it's really current, and I'll take that again. Is I didn't use a reference manager by Susan Oregon. Now, Oregon talks about how she didn't use any reference software during their doctoral studies. And I'm using their for gender neutral. I don't know whether it's a she or he or identifies as them just being gender neutral here. So Oregon says they didn't use any reference software during their doctoral studies, but realizing how crucial they were during their time in academia, they encourage doctoral students to try some of these software, and make their pick. And in Oregon's words, reference managers can help you be more efficient because they automate many research tasks. You can use them to collect reference data, store and annotate your PDFs, format citations, and organize your research by topic. And you can find Oregon's work at the PhD Place. That's a website, the PhD Place, where some of the things we're talking about, you can find some at this website also.
Yeah, and so that citation manager, reference manager, is like your own little digital library. Again, stores your PDFs, organizes your material according to topic. It's really worth investing the time to figure things out. So tip number 3 for us is set realistic expectations, objectives, and goals, and be patient in navigating them. Why? Well, the PhD program is not straightforward. It's a winding and bumpy journey. You may run into all kinds of unexpected situations, such as a supervisor retiring. The demands of some projects are going to take you away from other projects. You may have work demands that are going to take you away from your coursework. So you need to manage your time and have realistic expectations.
Right. Of course, there are many instances when you feel things are pretty smooth, like your first paper is accepted, second one is accepted, you've been invited to give a talk here and there, and you aced that course paper as well. Family demands are also less. You feel the support and everything. But you still need to set realistic expectations because the road to doctoral studies is not straightforward, as Dr. J already pointed out. It is bumpy. I was going into my program thinking that I will get it done within 3 years, but that was unrealistic. And quickly I discovered that actually it takes, in North America here, it takes over 4 to 7, 8, even 9+ years for some folks to complete their PhD programs. And it's not a competition. That's something I want you to underscore. It's not a competition. So if you finish in 4 years, 5, 6, 7 years, it is the same degree. But the question is, are you enjoying the process?
Mm-hmm. One of my committee members said it took her 7 years to complete her degree, but she loved it. She loved all of the things that she got involved with and enjoyed all of her coursework, the contacts that she made. So she didn't see this at all as a negative to have it take so long. It was enriching for her. So, keep that in mind. Our tip number 4, don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to say yes or no to the opportunities that may come your way. Yes, you are going to have a heavy workload. But put yourself out there by presenting at conferences. Take those opportunities. Submit your research work for publication consideration. And also on the flip side to this is There are times you will have to say no, or you'll feel that you want to say no. Have confidence in yourself to say, no, I have too much on my plate. Don't stretch yourself too thin. Don't accept every single invitation that comes your way.
Yeah, if you don't have the time.
You don't have the time.
Your mental health, your well-being is so, so important. So don't just go and grab every opportunity that comes your way. You'll be stretched thin and you would not enjoy the process. So by saying that also, we want to encourage you to be proactive and approach your supervisor or committee members or other faculty members or even colleagues to consider you for research and teaching opportunities, especially if you want to pursue academia. You know, sometimes you can do more, but the more is not coming. You have to go and seek. However, if you are not interested in academic positions, then the industry or whatever you are getting your degree for, make the necessary connections, network with network right from the beginning of your studies. Ensure to participate in your program or faculty and institutional committees to put your name out there. Service is so important at this level, and you want to contribute.
Right. And we're going to cover this topic in an upcoming episode, as this is something that was new to me and something that I also wish I had known about sooner. Okay.
Yeah.
Tip number 5.
That's right. So our tip number 5 is, call it money, money, money. Why money? Doctoral studies is not free, even if you are fully funded. There is cost.
Fully funded doesn't mean anything more than your tuition, really.
Exactly. And just a tiny bit of money in your account, and it goes before you even, realize that there was something there. So money, money, money. Folks, apply for research and teaching positions, including teaching assistant positions, and spend the needed time to apply for all the available fellowships, bursaries, grants, and scholarships, whether they are internal or external, so long as you qualify for them. Look, it's a lot of work and time consuming putting the applications together, but it's worth it when you receive a financial boost, whether it's big or small, as low as $100 to several thousands of dollars. These financial incentives will help pay for your conferences and meet several research needs. It's also huge on your resume and CV. In fact, it's a huge opportunity that you don't want to give the excuses that, I'm so busy, family demands and this. But money, money, money. The doctoral studies, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you think, well, I'm just going to throw an application together, I'm just going to make the effort to apply, you may be surprised at how well you do. So it's always worth the opportunity to work on a proposal, submit an application, and keep making your applications better each time. And as I was saying, you need to have a strong proposal when you put an application together, and there's help available in your faculty for this. Ask your supervisor to read over your application. And I guess the other person that you should look for is your faculty's research officer. Make them your friend. They will go through your application with a fine-tooth comb and help you to make your proposal really strong.
Right. I mean, I cannot overemphasize the importance of working with your programs or faculty's research officer. We benefited tremendously, both Dr. J and myself, from our research officer. So our tip number 6 is expect the unexpected. Life happens. Things get in the way, and things will get in the way. People have babies.
Yeah.
They get offered new job opportunities. Family members get sick. Promotions here and there.
Yeah.
Change of plans. So just expect the unexpected.
Right. I remember talking to a woman a few years ago, an older, mature student. She told me that her husband died unexpectedly just while she was in the middle of her program. So this was such a shock, obviously, and derailed her for a full year. So she had to get get by that hurdle. Obviously, it's a hard hurdle to overcome, but she still managed to complete her degree.
Good for her.
Yeah, and remember COVID. For me, the day I got all my ethics approvals to start my research, that was the day that we locked down. The schools were locked down, the university was locked down, the college where I was working was locked down. So that meant my research site was locked down. Now, so obviously I thought my work was totally derailed, but I did manage to find another way. But your point is expect the unexpected, because you do not know how you're going to be thrown a curveball and you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and Dr. J, such as life, right? It's life unfolding right before you in the program. And if you may need to, it's okay to shift from full-time to part-time or vice versa, if that works, best for you. I don't say I'm in a full-time program and so I'm not going to tweak it when you're clearly not enjoying the process and struggling. And just a shift from full-time to part-time would have done it for you. Or you're in a part-time program and now you realize how much time you have. And you can definitely speed up the process by switching to full-time. So you always have a choice to make and try to make the best choice. Now, enjoy what you have signed up to do. It's really important that you do enjoy your doctoral studies. And it is important to prioritize your well-being, my friends. Take care of your health and adapt to the changes that will come your way. Please be flexible and realistic and expect the unexpected.
Yeah, it's coming your way, regardless. And as you were saying, Will, you need to make the most of this amazing opportunity. If you're accepted into a program, take advantage of everything that comes your way if you can. Yeah, you're going to work really hard, that's a given, but there are events and lectures and opportunities. There are clubs and committees. Go for a hike, enter contests, accept challenges. You just never know how much you're going to be enriched by these experiences on top of your doctoral studies.
Mm-hmm. And, many times you may find you are stretched in new directions. You may meet people who will become your lifelong friends and research collaborators, and you want to take opportunity of that. At the very least, you will have fun. And of course, you will always learn something new. And I want to take that again. This is a doctoral program. You are in your doctoral studies. It's a terminal degree. In fact, the end of your study, right, the end of that a university or a program can offer. It's the ultimate. And at the very least, we want you to have fun doing it. And you will definitely learn something new.
Right. And that's it for us for today. You've been listening to PhDemystified. Thanks for joining us.
I am Dr. William Ankoma.
And I'm Dr. Julianne Burgess.
We would love to hear from you. Email us at PhDemystified@gmail.com.
And we'll chat with you again in 2 weeks.
Thank you, and talk soon.
Thank you for listening to PhDemystified. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe to stay updated on new releases. We love to hear from our listeners, so please reach out to us at PhDemystified@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch. This podcast is hosted and produced by Julianne Burgess, PhD, and William Ankoma, PhD, in collaboration with Brock University's Makerspace Studio. Co-produced and edited by Serena Atella. Music is High on Loungin' by Wax Lyricist. This podcast is financially supported by St. Francis Xavier University.